We're looking at a little pocket pistol Makarov, but does it hold up to the tests? We're going to find out in this episode of Airsoftology Reviews. So this little guy was a long-awaited release from KWA. Now if you're watching this, it's 2016, so if we're in the future and they've done future releases of this with updates, this may be a different review, but we're talking about the 2016 version of the KWA MKV, or Makarov, very iconic Russian pistol for short. So we're going to talk about externals first, and that's where this gun really does a pretty faithful job replicating the real Makarov. Full metal build with the exception of the grip. It is made of plastic. Now, it is just a solid brown color. I would like to have seen kind of that burled look, kind of that bakelite look that they have on the real Makarov, but again, the standard brown plastic isn't so bad. Across the top, you do have very small sights, front and rear, no white dots, but again, it's faithful to the real one. You do have an extended orange barrel. It's Airsoft, right? And it is metal, which is nice, but if you do want to remove this, you live somewhere where it is possible, it does stick out a little beyond, so you have to do some filing and cutting. So be mindful of that, or you can paint over this. Again, if you live somewhere where it's allowed and you're over 18 and you can do it legally, you can do that. Moving on the side, you do have the shell ejection port, which of course is just, more for looks here on Airsoft. You can slide it open. That does expose the hop up on the inside, and like KWA, they do give you the hop up tool that fits right in, lets you make those adjustments. On the other side, you are looking at a slide lock here and a safety. And of course, everything is pretty darn close, really easy to reach. It is set up for a righty, but no problem reaching my thumb. I've got average size hands. I can reach out and get that slide release, no problem. And the safety, like I said, super easy to get to. But the safety, as you just saw there, doubles as a decocking. So if you got the hammer back, you press the safety up, the hammer moves forward, and that puts it back into a more safe function, as well as actually moving that hammer back so you're not putting the stress on the spring. Trigger guard here is big. It's oversized. In fact, it kind of looks a little huge in comparison to the rest of the pistol, but that's nice. You can use it with gloved fingers. A lot of slack in the actual trigger itself. A lot of take up here, so you're looking at probably the better part of a centimeter before you even get to the point where it starts to break, and then it kind of moves in from there. Also, the trigger itself is a little on the stiffer side to get it to actually fire. It is double action and single action, so you actually can cock the hammer back and start working with it, and after each shot, it will actually reset in that back position. Magazine is a tiny little guy here. In fact, it is super small. We're talking about not just 11 rounds here. It does lock down for loading, which is a nice touch. I know KWA does that in a lot of their guns, and I'm glad they continue it here, even in such a small mag, but also has a very small amount of gas in it. We'll get to the chrono and the actual shooting test here in a second, because that's where the results get a little interesting. All right, so taking this thing out to the chrono, I saw 0 feet per second. That's right, 0, because the unit I got broke immediately upon receipt. So I thought I was doing something wrong. I'm like, okay, well, maybe I messed up. Maybe there's something. In fact, if you guys can see here, in fact, I'll drop the magazine. We'll pull that hammer back. You see it works just fine. I cock that hammer back, and sometimes now it won't even fire, right? This was an issue. I'm thinking, well, maybe I just got a demo unit. Maybe it was just one out of the box. Maybe it's that 1% of failures that people get. So I started scouring the internet looking for the answer, and it didn't take me long to find out I am not alone. In fact, I'm probably in the 50% range or even higher of the people out there that had them break within the first week. I mean, I'm talking, I maybe got about 8 or 10 shots out of this, maybe a magazine. I went to load the second one, and then it died on me. And that's the same issue. It's around this trigger. I'm not sure what the component is in here, if it's like a sear or something inside with the way the trigger lets the hammer release, but it seems to be a very common problem. In fact, what's frustrating about this is that KWA and KSC are kind of sister companies. KSC sells into the Japanese market, lower power gun. KWA sells in the US market, and of course international, if you're watching this anywhere, pretty much outside of Japan and Southeast Asia. This was a known issue on the KSC version of this pistol. In fact, they had like almost a 1.5 year delay from when the KSC released with that known issue before the KWA version came out. So I was hopeful, with that much time involved and lapse between, they were working on a fix. Unfortunately, that is not the case. And as it stands right now in this, and then based on everything I've read on the internet and talking to other retail shops around the country and their experiences with returns, at this point, this is one of those pistols, if you want to skirmish with it, I definitely can't recommend a purchase. Now, if you guys are looking into reenactment, you go to like Milson West games, you want something really cool that looks the part to sit on your hip, and you definitely want a Makarov, or you're just a collector and you want to put it on the wall because this is still a very good looking gun, you can pick one of these up, no problem. But if you guys want to skirmish with this, again, it's a huge dice roll. Mine, like I said, croaked out in the first day, and it seems that about half of them, people on the internet, are seeing that issue. The other half, I don't know. That's the other wild card. So you might get lucky if you really want one of these to work. But again, like I want to tell you guys the honest opinion on my reviews, this is one of those buyer beware. So guys, if you're looking for a replica pistol that's a great wall hanger, just a conversation piece, you love the Russian military stuff, you can pick this up, put it in a glass case on your shelf, or add it to your collection. If you're looking for a skirmish gun, you probably want to look somewhere else. There are some other great replica pistols that will fit for that Russian loadout. So if you guys want to learn more about the Makarov, like I always say, I have a link down there in the description below. They'll take you over so you can check out all the details. But again, make sure you're a collector if you're going to pick one of these up. As always, thanks for tuning in. If you're not currently a subscriber, click on the logo on the bottom right or in the description and you'll always be in the know. Plus, if you like what you saw in this video and want to learn more, I've got a link down there as well. And if you haven't had your airsoft fixed just yet, click in the videos on the right or use the info button at the top of the screen for more. And as the saying goes, everyone has an opinion, and I do want to hear yours. So give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down on this video, comment, and share.